Hey guys, so I just wanted to show you something I made. Well, obviously not this whole thing because this is just a template. But I'm talking about something that, well, you saw the title. It's God mode. It's kind of like God mode. So let's test the experience. The important part is that on the output, you can see right here, God mode activated. And that's the cool thing I did. I made various commands. So first of all, slash ws. And it said what walk speed because slash ws is short for walk speed. So we say some number, like, I don't know, this many. We're gonna say like a 43 person. Set to 43. Okay, great. And we can see that indeed our speed is 43. And if we go right here, we try to search for ourselves. See that we are here, and let's look at our little humanoid, because that's where you change them. You see that my walk speed is 43. That is really interesting. We'll keep this humanoid thing open. Now let's try slash J, which is jump power. Now let me say something like that. Do you think that much jump power would be possible? No. It could be, but it really just likes capping it at 1000. So basically, if I jump now, and you can see here that my jump power right here is 1000. I had it open, so I'm probably gonna get a cool little visual of it changing. What if I don't want this? Well, you can always just put your jump power, and it's gonna say what jump power. Oh, I just want the normal jump power, which is 50. You can see that I'm normal, and this walk speed, I'm gonna show what it's capped at. The walk speed is capped at 500. I should have put more so you guys could see that it was capped, but it is capped. You guys are gonna see the code and all. Look at it. Look at it. I'm super fast. Now, I don't even know where I am. I don't even know where I am. I have never seen this far of this map before. You know what? I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't want to live anymore. That's okay. You can just type slash K and you die. You just die. It dies. Look at this. Okay, so another command. Say I just want to sit. I just want to sit in this little carpet. But Roblox does not offer this option. Well, actually, they do, but you have to get kind of weird with it. Because you have to go to your character right here, and you have to be in Roblox Studio, obviously, and then go to your humanoid and click it, sit right here. Boom, you have sat. But what if you weren't in Roblox Studio? What if you just want to sit? Then you have the classic command sit. Boom. Easy, practical, simple. It sounds like I'm pitching it here. Yeah, I'm pitching my own code here, guys. But okay, yeah, see, there you guys go. It says set to max. Just 500, and I put 5000 in. Holy, there is one command left though that they haven't shown. Now this is interesting because you get a little bitty tool. You see this? It's a tool. It's a beautiful little tool. Now ignore the proximity prompt right here for now. Let's just click. And look, it changes the color. It's actually random. It doesn't change like brick color because there's the brick colors and the RGB colors. I used RGB colors. So it's fully random. It's not just brick colors. Look at that. Look at that. That's beautiful. Anyways, now let's look at this in proximity prompt right here. Huge proximity prompt, which I can find inside myself. You see, this is a tool. That's why I'm grabbing it like that. It's because it's a tool. Then you open it. There's the activate script, which we're going to look at. Then there's the handle and the proximity prompt. And there's a proximity script. We'll fucking get into that. Look at that. It changes. It changes the brick color. Let's click on this. Yup. Yup. It does that. It does that. No need to ask why. Ah. Okay, thank God. When I fucking exit to OBS, it stops playing. It's the annoying song. Get out! Get out! I even lost my arm because of this. Look at me. Look at me. Look at my little arm. I need to not look at it. No. Okay. After that kind of hellish song and me losing my arm, let's actually look at the code behind this. Behind the all these commands like WS. Let's look at it. Let me go to server script service. Okay, so let me explain this. I'm gonna just go through this real quick. So local game get service replicated storage. I basically just get the service of replicated storage, which is this. It's this little thing. Because we're gonna use it to take the things out of storage. We're gonna use it for the tool specifically. You know the tool? Yeah. You know how I got the tool? It's because of that. Local previous chat equals nil. Now this will be important for later in the function. But just for now, know that this is a variable that keeps track. It keeps track of the previous chat. Okay? It just keeps track. So if you chat one thing, it'll just say, hey, this person chatted this, and the variable will be what you chatted. For example, if you chatted something like as I said, that random key smash, it would be that. I mean, except it wouldn't, because we don't need to actually keep that. This variable is here for a reason. Right? So we do not need to keep like random things like as that or that, but that was an example. Which we really do keep our commands. So this could have been just previous command, but not gonna lie, I can't give less of a shit. Anyways, it starts off game.players. So this calls the players thing. And then there's an event in the players thing called player added, and then connects a function to it. So this runs when a player joins a game. And it checks if the player's user ID is my user ID. But you could just basically replace this and say maybe I want Roblox to have God mode. You know? But I put myself here so I could literally test it, you know? If it isn't my user ID, then nothing happens. Nothing literally happens. I'm gonna take this test all wait thing out. But then it checks if the player has chatted. So this basically connects a function every time that the player chats. So this runs every time the player chats. It keeps track of the player's chat. And then it looks at it. Is the chat this? Is the chat this command? Then it just sets the previous chat to that command. Keeps track of what command the user actually wants to do when they type in a number. And then it prints what walk speed. Else if the chat is this, then it just does the same thing. But now if you chat tool, it logs that of course. And it says local tool equals reps. Now do you remember reps? That's from the local reps, and when we were getting the replicated storage server. And if you look at this, look at that. There's the tool here. And look at this. It has the script, the thing, the same thing that we got in the workspace. So how does this work? Right? So the first thing that it does is clone it. And the reason it clones it is so you can still get one if you die or drop it. So like, let me test it. Let me show y'all. So if I type in tool and I type in slash tool again, I get two tools. Now this wouldn't be possible. You see, look at this one's brick color and look at this one's brick color. They're different. And this wouldn't be possible if in the replicated storage there wasn't a tool here. So what happens when I get a tool, right? Let's see for ourselves. Actually, it goes too fast to notice, but what it does is it clones the tool, of course. It sets the name as tool. It sets tool apparent as the player's backpack. So here's the thing, right? You could think that all of these are in your character, but in reality they are only in your character when you hold it. These are all in the player's backpack. Except this one in the middle, which I just grabbed. That one is in my model, which is my character. There it is, Arver, and we can see that there's a tool here. Wow, look at this. You see that it's selected. It has the blue outline. Yeah. What if I did it with this? Then it wouldn't be selected because it's another thing. But this is selected. This is not. This is selected. This is not. That's because they switch places. They go from my model in the workspace to my player instance. It goes in my backpack. And look at this. The three tools right here. So it goes to the player's inventory, prints tool granted, and if you sit, this is really obvious. So it changes the previous chat, and then it just says, "Hey, character, can you sit?" Use player.character because that leads to your character to the model in the workspace, and you go to the humanoid, and then it has a property called sit, which I showed y'all when I was sitting. But this does it automatically. It's a Boolean value. It's either true or false. But the kill thing, what is it? Well, it's really simple. It's the same thing with the player.character, the humanoid, but it's the health. The health. You just go to health, the health property, and turn it into 0, which essentially kills the character. 0 health. Now this one is spicy. Else if two number chat doesn't equal nil, then I'm gonna explain it. This converts the chat into a number with the two number function. Which, yeah, I mean, it just turns a string into a number. So like if you said something like, oh, like two number, and then you put a string in like let's say 5. Two number 5. See that? That's a two number. It would just spit out 5 instead of the string 5, which is string is just like plain text. This, the number, if it makes a number from the chat, if it converts the chat into a number, and it is a number, it doesn't goes like crazy and it says no, this isn't the fucking number. It passes. It passes if it is a number that can be converted. If you type out 5, FIVE, it won't work because that's not an actual number, you know. I mean, that is a number but written out. To the language, that is just letters. That is just text. So you gotta type in 5, the number. This local number equals to number chat. Basically turning the chat into a number. It keeps the number that you sent in a variable so we can use it later. And then this. Now this is why we need the previous chat. Because it says, hey, if the previous chat was this, and they sent a number, then it sets the previous chat to nil. And it is so you can't type the number twice in one command. So like for example, if this wasn't in place, you could just type in /ws like and type in like 500, and it would set it to 500. But then you would just need to keep typing numbers to change your walk speed. And, well, that could be practical. It would be very confusing. This caps the number at 500, and it just basically prints set to max, and it sets it to the max number. Else, if the number is above 0, if it's a negative number, it doesn't care. It just takes your input as nothing, as if you didn't talk, except it doesn't actually continue with the command. It just says, hey, fool, you tried to put in a negative number? Well, guess what? You can't, and then you have to do the command again. And this avoids negative numbers. And then this player, the character, the humanoid walk speed, this just changes the walk speed. Hold on. As you saw with the sit one and the health one, it's the same thing. And then we use the number that you typed in because it's not a negative number and not a huge number because it's capped by the 500 thing, by the 500 cap. Else if previous chat /j, then yeah, it's the same thing here in this if statement, but it's jump power. It's capped at 1000. This one's capped at 1000 because jump power is not as chaotic as walk speed. And also, one thing that I had to do differently in the jump power thing is that Roblox actually uses jump height by default now. So you have to type in player.character.humanoid.use jump power equals true. Because, yeah, Roblox uses jump height normally. I learned that the hard way. Uh, Else if the number is above 0, so again, avoiding negative numbers. It sets to the number, it does the whole fucking use jump power equals true thing, and then it sets the jump power to the number you want. And then get ready for the big end slide, and yeah, it's a bunch of end. Yeah, it ends here. 51 lines. So now let's look at the things behind the tool. Because it's not that complex, just like this isn't complex, like this is very simple. It may look kind of complex to new players, to new programmers. If new programmers are watching this, I don't know. Anyways, let's go to this script, activate script. Local tool equals script.parent. So basically what we're saying is that the tool is this script's parent because it has the tool as its parent, right? The tool has the script inside it. So the script is a child of the tool, and and the script and the tool is the parent of the script. So local tool equals script.parent, getting the tool. And then this local hand equals tool.handle. Right, so this thing is handle. Right here, the handle. And then there's things inside it, but we'll leave that for later. Getting the handle is a child of the script. I fucking put it wrong. It's a child of the tool. There we go. Local function on activate. Hand.color. So we're basically changing the color of the handle to a new RGB color. And I told y'all it was random. Math.random, the minimum is 0 and the maximum is 255 because that's the rule for RGB, right? So that's, look at this, it says it even here. Also it says invalid arguments to color free constructor, but when you run this, this is just gonna be a number, So it's gonna work out. You don't need to be worried by that. Yeah, setting the handle to a random color. And then here's a funny thing. If the handle's color is this specific color, if it's this specific color, then what it does is it grabs the player. Local player equals tool.parent. Or, this is very important, tool.parent.parent.character. Now the reason I did this is because while the tool is being activated, the player might unequip it while it's being activated. Now this runs in like a microsecond, but like, what if, Like, you never know, so yeah, what if? So this, what it does is it grabs the tool.parent, which is the backpack, would be the backpack, right, of the player. And then it grabs the player, so the parent of the backpack. And then it grabs the character of the player. So basically, both of these are the same thing, but for different cases. Yeah, like I explained here, getting the player, if the tool is equipped, it will be accessible through tool.parent. Otherwise, we have to find the character through the player. And then it sets the player.humanoid.health to 0, setting the health to 0 so it dies, like we did with the /k command. And then here we connect the function to the event of the tool being activated. And that's the code. It's pretty simple. It just changes the color randomly. And if it if the color is this specific color, which by the way is like very impossible to get. Anyways, there's the sound on the handle. There's the proximity prompt, which has the script. Also, I forgot to tell, this is the local script, right? This is the local script because determining the tool's activation, it actually needs to be done via the client instead of the server. So you have to get a local script. Anyways, moving on to the proximity script. So this is really simple. This is the simplest one yet. Local prox equals script apparent, which is the proximity prompt, and local song equals prox, which is the proximity dot parent. So the parent of the proximity prompt is the handle dot sound that goes back to the sound, which is a child of the handle, which is the song. Look at this. If we play it, okay, it doesn't want to play. Yeah, I don't think it really wants to play, but whatever. The point is it plays, alright? It is raining tacos. You guys heard it. But anyways, this is an event where the proximity prompt is triggered, right? It's triggered. And we connect it to a function with the player as the player who triggered. And we have to call its character because this is the actual player, not the model. This is like the instance player, not the character. So we have to call the character right here. Anyways, connects a function to the event fired when the prompt is triggered. Song play. And it plays the horrible sound. And then, right after that, it goes to your left upper arm and it destroys it. Now, I originally intended for it to only destroy your left upper arm, but then I realized it just destroyed your whole arm, your whole left arm, and I decided, you know what, whatever, it can stay, it can be that. And yeah, that's basically it. That was like 3 scripts. The original tool thing, a fun fact, because I was making this for a game that I'm still working on. Uh, this was an asset of the game, right? That's like needed for progression. So in the God mode thing, I just kind of enabled it, did a command for getting it, because I honestly didn't want to have to go up and get it every single time I was testing it. So I just made a command. I also made the walk speed and the jump power commands for the same reason. Well, actually, the walk speed is what I wanted the most, but really the jump power, I just thought it would be fun to like fuck around with the jump power. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. It was amazing. I liked it. Goodbye.